So finally, we have the cinematic trailer of Assassin's Creed Shadows. As always, the cinematic trailer looks pretty good as any other Assassin's Creed game cinematic trailer. But over the years, I have realized that to not base any judgment off of a cinematic trailer. So I will only base any judgment after the release of the gameplay trailer that is going to be shown on the Ubisoft Forward event on 10th June. And also the game is going to release on the 15th of November. Now I don't know if the game is going to get delayed or not. In this video, I'm going to talk about all the information we got about Assassin's Creed games till now. And the information I'm going to share is taken from multiple different sources, so it is going to be a really good informative video for you guys. But before that, I would recommend you guys to like this video and feel free to subscribe to this channel if you want latest updates on Assassin's Creed Shadows and more Assassin's Creed content. So obviously, if you are following the game, you know the game is based on two characters in feudal Japan, Naoe and Yasuke. Naoe being a shinobi and Yasuke being a samurai. You can switch between these two characters anytime you want, even when you are engaged in the mission, kind of similar to what we saw in Grand Theft Auto 5. And both of these characters are gonna have different playstyles, so that makes a lot of sense that you're gonna have to switch between them depending on the situation you are gonna be in. If you remember Assassin's Creed Syndicate, both the characters felt kind of the same. There were minor differences in their abilities, but other than that, for the most part, everything was pretty much the same. But in this game, it looks like both are gonna have drastically different playstyle. For example, by the things I saw in the trailer, it looks like Naoe is gonna have the hidden blade, shuriken and grappling hook, and Yasuke is gonna have all the brute weapons, and both their abilities are gonna depend on their playstyle. Naoe's abilities are probably gonna be focused on the stealth, and on the other hand, Yasuke's abilities are gonna be based on brute force. It also seems that Naoe's hidden blade is different than before what we have seen in other Assassin's Creed games. Like here, hidden blade flips and becomes like a small katana. This is called a tanto. If you guys have seen the series in Shogun, I'm not gonna give any spoilers, but in that they use this sort of weapon in order to assassinate people, and it kinda looks similar to that. This weapon can also be used in melee combat. A lot of people actually commit seppuku with this sort of thing, and seppuku means just, killing yourself. It used to happen in that days a lot that people used to commit seppuku, and that used to be an honorable death. Now Yasuke also has a set of weapons like katana and kanabo, but he can't use the ones of Naoe and vice versa. I think it kind of looks like Yasuke is gonna feel like the samurais in For Honor. It's from Ubisoft as well, so it's highly likely it's gonna be similar to that. But obviously it's a game from 2016, so they're not gonna take everything from that. Also, when you go inside a city as Yasuke, people are gonna react respectfully as samurais are considered of high social class. On the other hand, as Naoe, people are generally not gonna bother that much, and that is the main purpose of Naoe, that she needs to be hidden. The game looks highly focusing on the RPG elements, but I like how they have incorporated both stealth and brute force in the game. Now I personally am gonna play as Naoe more because I like being stealthy, and I'm an OG Assassin's Creed fan, so you know the reason. Comment down below what you guys would prefer to play more with, Naoe or Yasuke. Obviously we have to play as both of them in the story because it is a part of it. Now let's move on to the story. In the trailer you can see some part, but I have even more information regarding the story, so I will combine it with trailer part as well. The story is based in 16th century Japan, likely between 1570 to 1600. There's two different stories going at the same time, and they kinda get merged into one. First, Yasuke's story. Yasuke is an actual historical figure. He was born likely in Mozambique and was taken likely by the Portuguese as a slave. He was brought to Kyoto, Japan in 1579 by the Portuguese, or probably the Italian Jesuit missionaries. I'm kinda confused cause some people say Portuguese and some say Italian. And also I'm gonna give Shogun references a lot if you have watched that series, that the Portuguese were doing a lot of business in Japan at that time. There were good trading relations between these guys. Now the French YouTuber Jonathan says that Yasuke's story is gonna start with him coming on a boat probably to some part of Japan, and his wife and others getting killed by some people and him being alive alone. He is gonna be saved and brought to a temple and is told about how the things work in Japan. He learns Japanese and stuff like that. He learns the culture there, and he will serve under Oda Nobunaga, who is a pretty famous samurai lord, to fight against other samurai factions at that time like Takeda, Uesugi and Hojo. And guys, I'm really sorry for my pronunciation if there is anything wrong because I'm not from Japan, obviously. Oda Nobunaga also has relations with the Portuguese because of trade, and you have to be really careful about allying who are you friends with at that time. It is a time of civil warfare for the unification of Japan. Yasuke is also gonna have some things going on with the Portuguese, with likely whom he arrives in Japan. So there's multiple things going on with him. If you saw the trailer, you see him fighting as a samurai, and that is under Oda Nobunaga. All of it gives very similar vibe to Shogun series. I would highly recommend you guys to watch it. That can help you understand a lot of stuff in this game as well. Now let's move on to Naoe's story. She is gonna be the daughter of Fujibayashi Nagato, who is actually a historical figure. She is taught by her father all the skills she possesses. Now again, French YouTuber Jonathan says her story is gonna start with a story kind of like Bayek, where her father and maybe other family members are gonna be killed by the Order. Then it's very similar in a way that she proceeds to go on a revenge quest. She likely joins the assassins in between. Now if you saw the trailer, the story of both these characters merge together. Naoe sees that Yasuke is destroying the village in the beginning that is located in the province of Iga, which is the birthplace of the shinobi, and Naoe is from the same village as well. The attack is done by Oda Nobunaga, as I mentioned before, and there are actually two attacks in Iga province by Oda Nobunaga. I think this is the second one. So it looks like they are both against each other in the beginning. Now one thing I'm still confused about is how they come together. In the trailer it kind of does not make sense. Obviously you can't put everything there in it, right? But my assumption is that Yasuke after some time realizes that he is on the wrong path or something. Some people also speculate that the Order infiltrates the samurai class, and that's what makes Yasuke make that decision. Also a lot of people are speculating that Yasuke came in Japan by some motive, but I don't know about that. And also the things that I mentioned that came from the French YouTuber Jonathan, that can be true, that can be false, that is a speculation as well. But this is very likely to be true because this guy, the French YouTuber Jonathan, he is a pretty credible guy, and a lot of the things he says turns out to be true in Assassin's Creed. The ultimate goal in this game is to probably tackle the Order, and that's the general theme of Assassin's Creed. My assumption is that Oda Nobunaga is either from the Order or he is influenced by the Order. One thing I will say is that Ubisoft can likely twist the actual history events a little bit to adjust it according to the game. Now let's talk about the gameplay and the world. It seems that there is a big change in it, and I'm wondering how it's gonna work. The way environment plays a role in this game is gonna be huge. For example, wherever there is a dark spot or what looks like where you can hide, you can actually hide there. So it's just not a mere haystack or grass where you can hide. You can extinguish light sources to create a suitable spot for hiding. Also, there are different seasons like summer and winter and also rainy season, and the environment will change depending on that and the way it looks. For example, rivers are gonna turn icy in winter, leaves are gonna change depending on that. In summer, there's more agriculture and grasses, so that can help you in stealth more. There can also be fog, which can help you to hide better, and that can obviously reduce the sight of the AI. Now what time you're gonna be in is gonna depend on your own playstyle. Now let's talk about the AIs. Now it is mentioned that the AI is gonna have some improvement, that they are also gonna hide in some spots that are seen to be hidden. So that is a really big thing, that AIs will function really good in this game from what they have said. Now I don't know how it's gonna work in the actual game. These are the things that they are saying, right? So you should not take it as it is, but there can be some bugs here and there. But let's see, if they're talking about this, they have done some work on it. And obviously Assassin's Creed games have been pretty bad in terms of enemy AIs and stuff like that, but in this game it looks like they have improved this sort of thing, so I appreciate it a lot. The game is also gonna have a map similar size to Origins. It is gonna be in central Japan, as that's where Oda Nobunaga was. You can also destroy stuff in the game like doors and other objects by Yasuke. Naoe can actually assassinate through a door. If you have seen the assassination scene in Shogun, the environment will be kind of similar to that. There's gonna be something similar to the recruit feature that is in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. The people whom we recruit are gonna work as spies. You can use these recruits to gain information. You can see the trailer that someone gives a letter to Naoe and she gives it to Yasuke. Your recruits will also have their own unique abilities. Now also I need to know more about these sort of things because it's really hard to imagine how these things are actually gonna work. From the top you can get some sight, but you need to see more about this. You can also create a fully customizable hideout for your growing shinobi league as you train your crew craft new gear, interact with key characters, and choose your base's layout, decorations, and accessories. And about this information, I already made a video before, so this will kinda be like the Assassin Bureau. And I like these sort of customization options that we are gonna get here. Game structure is also gonna be non-linear, that you need to gain information regarding the targets and then infiltrate their palace, and there's gonna be low-level targets as well in between, kind of like the side contracts. Now, another thing is parkour, and that is a really important thing in any Assassin's Creed game. There are gonna be grappling hooks in the game, as this is the game from the same studio that made Assassin's Creed Syndicate, but it looks better than the Syndicate one in this. There are gonna be multiple grappling hook points in different places, like you can see in the trailer itself. So it's a little different than Syndicate. That Syndicate you can kind of grapple almost anywhere, but here it's like Sekiro, that there are specific places where you can grapple on. Also, they are mentioning that parkour is gonna have different moves. Now, I don't exactly know how that is gonna work. We don't have much information about the parkour yet, but looking at the character of Neoe, she seems very agile and fast. So the parkour is definitely gonna have a big role this time. I hope they used mocap movements, because that can improve the parkour a lot, and not only that, mocap improves the assassination and the overall movement of our character. Also, about the graphics, I can't comment that much because we have to wait for the gameplay footage. But considering it will launch on the current gen consoles like PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X/S, and obviously PC Master Race, we are definitely gonna see some improvements. Because the older gen consoles were kind of making the game lag behind due to the hardware, it was kind of like a barrier. This is gonna be the first Assassin's Creed game for the current gen consoles only, as well as PC. The game will launch at a standard price of $70 for the standard edition, and as you move on to the gold edition, it will be $110, and for the deluxe, it will be $130. You can also get the game on the Ubisoft Plus subscription. I would recommend you guys to at least wait till seeing the gameplay trailer before you pre-order the game. Now, here are my expectations from the game. I, as an OG Assassin's Creed fan, would like the game to have a focus on the story of the game more than anything else. Sure, gameplay and graphics are good, but the main thing that hooks people into playing it more is obviously gonna be the story. Also, as I mentioned, the parkour needs a good amount of improvement from the previous games, and it looks like we are gonna have some improvement, as they have said. Also, the stealth should be good as well, and by seeing the trailer, it seems that it will be good. But again, I have to see the gameplay footage in order to pass any judgments. I hope they include more mocapped animations in the game, whether it be in the gameplay or the cutscenes. You guys can see in this video that they have included mocap, but I don't know whether it is for the game or is it just for this cinematic trailer. I think it is just for the cinematic trailer. If it is for the actual game, I'm gonna be really impressed, guys, because in the RPG games we haven't seen that. It is just gonna be a surprise. You know, in Mirage as well, we didn't see that. You know, it's just the same lame sort of animation, you know, with no sort of emotions. So I would definitely be impressed if they include this. Overall, I think this game felt a lot more connected to the whole assassin theme compared to the other RPG Assassin's Creed games. So I'm glad they are including it this much. Just waiting for how it actually is in the game. You know, I like how they are trying to implement as many stealth things in this game so that the OG Assassin's Creed fans also play this game, but they also are keeping the RPG lovers in their minds, so they have this samurai characters for them as well. Now, one thing that I'm seeing a lot is that a lot of people are blaming how is there a black samurai in Japan. Well, there is a historical context, as I have mentioned above, like there's going to be Yasuke in it, and if a game has a good story, good gameplay, and good graphics, who cares if the character is black or not, or anyone? It just feels weird to target diversity for everything in the game. Target the substance of a game and not stuff like diversity. So this whole point does not make sense to me. Also, there is actually a Japanese female as well in the game. So what? Like, why are you targeting just the guy who is the samurai? And there was actually a guy like Yasuke, so there's nothing wrong with it. I also see that a lot of people are targeting Ubisoft for some reason a lot without even seeing the game. Time and time, I have also criticized Ubisoft for the things they do wrong if you have seen my previous videos, but now some people are doing it over the top and it's just too much in my opinion. And some of the people who are actually hating this game so much, I saw the comments, you know, people are like, this is Ubisoft, this is Ubisoft, and stuff like that, you know, another Assassin's Creed game that is gonna be bad and stuff like that. I would kind of agree a little bit with those people that, you know, in the recent years Ubisoft has lost some of its way, but I would say, you know, you don't need to be this much rude towards Ubisoft, man. That's like little too much. You need to be kind of reasonable as well. I would definitely say that Assassin's Creed, for the most part, whether they be the older ones or the newer, even the RPG ones, all of them have been pretty good. Despite the fact that the RPG ones were not my type of game, I still appreciate them. A lot of these don't even play the game and they are just hating just for the sake of it, and they are all bringing this DEI, sweet baby stuff in, and it's just too much in my opinion. You don't need to do all that. So let's chill and wait for the gameplay trailer, and then we are gonna form any judgment on the game. So that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, by the way. Make sure to like this video and consider subscribing to this channel if you want similar type of videos regarding Assassin's Creed. And comment down your thoughts. What do you think about this game? And what are your opinions on the cinematic trailer? And I'll see you guys in the next one.